Many presidents go into office, and I mean many, like almost all the modern presidents, learning a little bit about nuclear weapons before their debrief. And then you hear them say things like, I'm going to get rid of the launch on warning policy. It's inexcusably dangerous. They hear things as a civilian. And then a mysterious thing happens. They get into office and they learn something that then you never hear from that. You never hear talk of that again. And I want to know what it is they hear. The early book I wrote, the first book I wrote, Area 51, is about a CIA base in the middle of the Nevada desert, inside the Nevada test and training range where we set off nuclear weapons. When I wrote a book called Operation Paperclip, which is about the Nazi scientist who came to America.
Dr. Werner von Braun, who is at present the chief of the Guided Missile Division of the Army's Rocket Center at Redstone Arsenal.
To build our weapons programs after World War II. So they were former Nazis. So I'd go onto a conservative organization's media program and they would say, oh my God, Annie Jacobsen, thank you so much for writing Operation Paperclip. I mean, you showed us that these guys were these terrible Nazis, they were odious, et cetera, but man, did we need them to come to the United States, or otherwise we'd all be speaking Russian now.
The big news making international headlines: a nuclear-powered Russian submarine and 3 Russian ships arrived in Cuba today.
Then I would go over to the really liberal stations, maybe even the Holocaust Museum type scenarios. And they would say to me, oh my God, Annie Jacobsen, thank you so much for writing this book, Operation Paperclip. You showed us in no uncertain terms these horrible, evil, criminal minds should have been hung at Nuremberg. They never should have come here. You make that so clear. Thank you so much for writing this book.
Interesting.
They read the same book. They took away a point of view based on the same set of facts.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
You asked about why North Korea is like the most dangerous. The leader of North Korea recently said, America has a sinister intention to provoke nuclear war. A madman with a nuclear arsenal. And he said this French term, which is called après moi le déluge. After me, the flood.
And look at suicide bombers. They had no problem recruiting suicide bombers, in the global war on terrorism.
Tonight, 2 of America's fiercest adversaries together on North Korean soil. Vladimir Putin arriving in Pyongyang for the first time in nearly a quarter of a century.
I asked him that question. I said, do you wish that you hadn't drawn the plans for the thermonuclear bomb? And he said to me, after a long pause, I wish they couldn't have been drawn.
The emergency alert system has been activated. This is a national emergency. All broadcast and cable systems shall transmit this emergency action notification message. Important instructions vital to your safety will follow.
They're called directed energy weapons. And when I was asking about that, like what makes them more powerful? And I got a great answer, so I'm just going to share it with you because it's like, it seems so hard to comprehend sometimes, like laser weapons. Speed. When you think about this, the mushroom cloud that we've all seen, right? That mushroom stem and the cloud is made up of the remnants of people who have turned into combusting carbon. That is the detritus of civilization.